TSM, they're actually second place if you do want to cut it down to fine points and finite systems as such. Every single team has a lot to lose, every single team has a lot to win, and it all begins now with game number 1.
It's time, the plane's in the air. Ladies and gents, strap yourself in for what is going to be an incredible display from southeast to the north. The plane is there, the players are dropping. And I'm seeing teams going back to original drop spots.
This is the thing now, we've lost all these, well, all of them. We've lost 16 teams. You can start to look at all the little mini players. You'll have the coaches, the analysis, the team leaders. Okay, let's take a look at the lay of the land and the map and where people have essentially opened up. FaZe Clan should be now back to home turf. We've lost a Freak of Freaks. That opens that system up. TSM, Milta for them, job done. Happy days on the ground, bootstrapped in. We have to look at the Rumblers. Where will they drop now? Do they adjust themselves? Because as Toffee spoke about on the desk, this is house money for them. This is big money. Every single place and advancement they go in this competition, their bank balance just gets a little bit bigger.
Yep, and eyes initially towards Entus Force, dropping down on the Millie Island themselves. Going to have the first feet on the ground, boots on the ground, and going to get the loot building. Now, the circle will present, obviously, varying issues for wherever you drop. But for now, you can see everyone get to place. This looks like a little bit of a potential close fight to start with. This could be huge. Enters Ace on the other side. Going to get the first glimpse, first bullets to come through, but no connections. Can they disengage? Can they find enough to find that first fight?
We'd expect them to disengage. Circle pops. We are going to Sosnovka, and for a team like Na'Vi that usually goes across the bridge, well, they have just bailed and said, you know what, let's get a good foothold on here. Let's get a good stronghold and a position. That's a prime bit of territory where they will be on the edge of that bridge. That denies anyone else an entry point to come further afield. We'll pause on that and go back to this because we've got a little bit of a stalemate. Expect the passive play. Remember, with only 12 games in front of you, every single death puts you at a disadvantage. So you will expect these teams to kind of hold fire because survivability is key.
True, and it is a 3v2 in current scenario. Let's keep it as what it is. You've got Leo and Kane here for GEX up against Entus Ace, who have 3 of their players. Very light weaponry on both sides. You could argue GEX has the greater loot. But then again, these SMGs, they are potent and powerful up close and personal. So the Vector could do some damage. Reinforcements coming in. I'm pretty sure I saw Sophia potentially picking up maybe an M24 before. You can see the silent roll in, but it's been spotted. First shots come through the SLR. Handy at this point for Ace to pop off a couple of shots and try and keep things in mind here.
Comp on the front, but no real sight on the back. They're holding for now, and maybe Sophia's just looking for bait on a new angle.
That's a big angle, actually, for Sophia. So they've got a lovely little ridgeline there.
The VSS at this point will be...
24.
Remember, they shouldn't have armor, Lauren. They'll be lacking it, so initially any shot to the head is going to put them on the floor.
Yeah, you can see Sophia being a little
How's
careful.
it going 3 times?
I'm glad that there's a bit of caution to this because I only see 3 players. So where is that 4th for Entus Ace? Low ground potential flank coming through. They're going to wind up the pressure. That could be contact on Leo.
That's the Warner.
Holding for now.
That's the Warner. This pushes them downwind now. They know they can't eject from the front of the building. It's a beautiful spot to take those ridges and now hold it with the 3. Not many scenarios will we be saying this, but the VSS, Lauren, it could be absolutely pivotal in this engagement.
100%. We saw a couple of players toying with it. Those early fights, it comes through because the armor is not there. And to say, there's the final player. I was wondering where their 4th currently was residing. We've located them. Just sending it to try and get towards the rest of the squad. Find a new angle to provide maybe some alleviation from this pressure, but you can see how tense this is for both sides. The Korean team trying to put all of their players in a good place, silently rolling up. A little bit of a 4-1-6, so does have the capability. Not sure what's on the back. You got the Mini. Very capable, well looted, 2'd up. That could be a big swing point here.
It's not reloaded. Please do it, because you're going to really upset me if not, if you do have to pull that out. Initial
Wait,
grenade.
first smokes, Rich. We do have a bit of a push in. Nade comes in. They're going for this. It looks like GEX. There's the nade up towards the stairwell. Jai Wei moving in under the cover, under the supervision of Sophia in the back lines. Entus Ace ready for the breach. You can see the clear on the window. Jai Wei, first nade. Oh my god, it's a shotgun waiting on the other side. That could be decimation. But wait, still patient. The boosts come in. They're biding their time. Joy on the stairs, holding the angle. That's the first point of contact. And now we wait. K-Mine and H-Win having issues, but that's not interesting right now.
Sees it through the door.
Oh, goodbye! Say
Instantly
hello to the
disconnects, though.
shotgun. Wait, he holds the angle. 2 more shells ready to go, locked and loaded. Smoke still standing. Can GH recover? They can't enter anymore. They know that is a big resounding no. Shut the door, get out. This is my compound. Peeking around carefully. Another falls! GEX being decimated and the flush from Joy.
The 686, he's gone for the flank while he's completely they're looking at this fight, so they're sending him after the sniper. That's amazing. If they take that out, that's their cover completely gone.
The UMP, if any time it's now, if any range, it's there.
Run,
and
Sophia,
Ectus
run.
Ace are looking so good. ZGG found an engage towards Profi. That's beyond the point, Sophia. It might be time to back out. You have just lost. Oh, one more bullet will land. That could take them out of the game.
GEX have lost everything. This has been an appalling start for them. Sophia's just bailing out to try and hold on for dear life. The engagement between Genesis and 4AM. It has been a bridge camp. I was watching it in the back. The rest of them, they're just pushing this in. We need to get across from here. We've lost 1. We've lost 2. 4AM, they've been damaged on transfer.
Profi has gone down for Genesis. They need to look to that beyond. But now you have to look at the island. Who's waiting? It's Na'Vi, the CIS Giants, the European champions, if you want to look at them in that way, have certainly held their own, but they hold the cross. They are the gatekeepers here on the other side.
That's brutal for 4AM, losing 2 players so early on.
But to send it on the bridge, what do you expect?
It's always dangerous. I mean, did they actually manage to get the confirmation onto one of the players? I don't think they did. So Genesis will be all 4 members back on their feet, and they're holding the bridge. The next victim could be GEN.G. They are looming and lingering. The bullets will have given away some information. We'll show you the map so you can check in where all of our teams currently are. The Rumblers, well, they're in no man's land in the water. They will make landfall shortly. FaZe Clan, they've come across. On the opposing bridge, T1, I see them stopping. So maybe we see gridlock on both bridges here, either side of the island.
Yep, I'm glad to see the Rumblers taking the wider swing. I think FaZe might have gone for the same approach or an early rotation. I'm not too sure. They've already made it to the military island themselves. Genesis, it might be time for them to move. They don't want to be here any longer. They don't want to get caught in their own trap. And this is their initial movements. Landing in Pachinki, they had it to themselves. Nice for them, but it does seem as though when they make landfall, they could be getting some attention themselves.
I really like the smart play that Profi and his teammate have done. They've taken one of the boats and gone across the bridge from underneath. So it basically stops them being bottlenecked by a team on the opposing side. Covering both bases, it's really clever, it's really smart. This gives them a nice free point of entry. But they have to be aware, GEN.G is setting up on the opposing side. What do they do here? Have they been too late? Are other teams in better positions for them? Or do they camp down on GEN.G?
There's the first couple of bullets. Mini going to be switched to Genesis. Might have just been warded away from potentially being picked up by Ragnar, who's waiting over by the yellow houses. Genesis going to stick to the coast and meet up with K-Mind and Profi and reconsolidate their roster. We do see the final couple of players making their way through. Sophia still way up in the north, but we'll touch on that later as SK Telecom T1 head over the bridge out on the east.
Uh-oh.
Lazarus.
Don't shoot. Don't give away your position.
They've already crossed. They're not going to do it. They're fine. They're safe. They're on the other side. Lazarus, I like the cautious approach. Meticulous, careful. And QM.
You know,
going for a dip.
You know it's rough times when you're just swimming. You'll always go for the little point on the opposing side of the island.
Yep.
It's the shortest route there. I'm surprised they've not got a vehicle, to be fair, and just rammed it off the cliffs. Give yourselves a bit more of a jump. There is time to do it, but... Oh, no. What? How
Pardon?
Well, that's not good.
Okay, I don't know what's happened, but what I know
Mistakes
is 4
were
AM.
made.
We're already down to 2 players here, Rich, and they're about to be crept up on by Tempo Storm. And now here comes a bridge. Lazarus made it across, or have they? First engage, they make one man through Pody Cody. Oh no!
What?
Pody Cody's gone down. That's a huge. Oh, he just dodges out of Swift and Lazarus. Devastation for the North Americans, going down in last after what looked like they were being cautious and meticulous, have now just gifted T1 a huge upgrade in loot.
He pre-naded. He put a landmine down and it hit him. That's insanity. Well, the home crowd won't be too happy with that one. Topping the charts from the semi-finals coming into this and going out in 16th game number 1. You now need the mental fortitude to push on. That's got to hurt. That's got to sting. And it'll be the sign of a good IGL and a good team captain to get the team back together. Rolling on throughout this competition. We look onwards. 4 AM still. 2 alive. The noise from the bike will give away position. But really, when you've got two players on that one little motorcycle, where do you go? What do you do? What do you see in front of you?
Na'Vi got the first couple, but it's forced down the lower side of the hill, who could potentially follow it up. Phaser on the move as well. Phase sweeping on the... Oh, no! No! 4 AM! They pulled up. They better be ready to go! Trade on one, but the second, forever, does not stand forever. It's 4 AM. Down in 15th. One of the best in the world just got slaughtered, and now FaZe are being engaged upon themselves.
The PCL Giants will drop down in 16th place.
Are they going towards Na'Vi?
Oh no!
Oh, a doozy is taking down FaZe. It looks like a slaughter. Phaser at the door. Pokemordoi prepare. Mexi and 8C knocking on the door themselves. They want in, and they've made it in thus far.
He got him. He got him. That's 2. Pokemordoi with the nade straight down. Uber knocked. That's rather unfortunate. Now they can make the advancement. Senya across the road, watches and waits for anyone to push outside. And all Pokemordoi has to keep doing is just slinging nades down the stairwell, pin them in, and the rest of the team can get the job done.
It's down to 8C and Mexi to try and make something happen here. Na'Vi are split apart, sure, but FaZe don't have the numbers to create much of a situation. This is with QM up on the north side of the island with VC, and you can see a Pokemordoi just made a play for this as well. It looks like Na'Vi might try and disengage, play a little bit more safe, play a smart game here. If that nade goes up and over, I'd lose my mind. FaZe trying to get Uber back on his feet. You're arguable, one of the star players here, as Na'Vi try and gather themselves, slow down the pace, control the tempo.
You've got to be careful because third party is always a possibility. Clearly FaZe don't have the information to where Na'Vi fully are. You can see the nades being thrown up into the building. The rest of them disconnecting. Maybe they regroup, get a better position. Circle, it's rough. It puts a hell of a lot of water still in, and it splits the islands in 2. Makes this a little bit more smaller. I'm still seeing, I think it's Entus Ace are actually on the opposing side, on the main head of Erangel. They've yet to make a crossover. The Rumbler's still outside of the blue, but down in the south is where it's about to get messy. TSM and Tempo. Ira looking to try and get a knock or a pick to save Michael's skin out here on his own, extended from the rest of the roster. I'd say you need to get on a vehicle and maybe bail it back to the team, but he could be going for the flank.
It's just so risky, but TSM have played such an explosive game. Michael, phenomenal player. There's nothing to be taken away, but to be able to try and capitalize on this, he needs Rory, he needs Iroh, he needs the rest of the team to apply pressure. Otherwise, he's going to be out on this island. The circle is rough, as you can see. Oh my God, who's done this? It's gone north. Okay, we have currently 3 teams on the northern side. Hold on, GX, Entus Ace, and GEN.G did not move. WClick could have the first way across. QM can swim if they need to. But this has now put the vast majority of the lobby in no man's land. They've got to move.
In what competitive world does this ever happen? It hard shifts to the... There's no way!
We say this time and time again, maybe, but it could happen, and it never does.
That's absolutely mental. Because there's only a small amount of areas that you can enter the opposing side. The cliffs will create bottlenecks.
Here we go.
Berry Pier is open, but that bridge is not.
TSM are pushing it. They're going to have to try and get towards Tempo Storm. They can't cross without it. Here we go. Maluk is first, but what did TSM do? Iroh's out on a limb. He's going for this one. That's a good nade. That could find Maluk down to half HP. TSM trying to temper Tempo Storm. Not so easy as Sharky snaps down towards Michael, as Iroh now is slightly surrounded. Look at this hillside. He might be able to fight 2, but he might lose out on the others.
They've got to be careful.
Genesis have made it.
They've gone to Ferry Pier. That locks that down. They could potentially stay here and lock out any other teams. They're behind Gen.G on the opposing side. A doozy goes down. Ira, second one to fall now for TSM. Tempo Storm, they're feeling this one. There is a response back. Sharky hits the deck. Ira's gone. That's a completion. And it now comes down to Gustav holding this on his own. He's got death from above and below.
Maluk creeping closer, the engage, Maluk whiffs it, but he goes back in, trying to get the peek on Gustav. He's got the damage, but has he got the kill? Gustav can only find Sharp Shot as Maluk works his way forward, and it's him to clean up. TSM not looking so sharp anymore, as Rory, a last man alive, has 2 to find in the hillside, 2 on the coastline. Rock in a hard place to say the least, as now the blue comes in.
He actually hit him in the head through the smoke. He didn't go down, but now it's forced to heal. Going to be one of the furthest away from this.
Genesis just sniped one across the water. K-Mine is putting on pressure from Ferry Pier here. And why not? They have it all to play for. Teams using the Eastern Bridge.
Oh no.
QM finding VC right in the water.
Fish in a barrel. Dynamite down. A little bit more distance on that one. I think they'll be getting it. Yes, indeed. TSM is out. And VC are left in the water being hunted, QM on the beach. What do you boys do? You are just being bombarded from the beachhead.
Yeah, QM should lock this one out. It looks like they are. There goes another as VC are drowning. As now shots come in from further east. That's the rest of VC who are still in the blue, far off here. Trying to find a way back in as, well, Sophia's finding damage on the Rumblers. Where is that?
There is a mass migration coming. Na'Vi enters Force phase. They're all together on the other side of the circle, and they're approaching the bridge. Who is the vehicles? Na'Vi does not. They're all on foot. Yes, to the edge of the white. And there's time to go, but they've all got to cross the bridge. This is insanity for a game number one. This is one of the wildest circles we've seen in PUBG.
They just got turned on. A doozy went for the engage and lost it. Enters Force fighting their way out of this one, as now Na'Vi finally feel the force after dealing with FaZe. They might fall at the final hurdle. Now, nades come out, but can they find Senya? He's on the other side of this hill, staying alive, ducking down, trying to bide his time. And enters Force. Where do they engage on this? Do they fall off? Do they find a fight? Because Senya is waiting.
It's tapped in the back. That's going to be Mexi. FaZe still. Now giving away their position. Hitting the beachhead, you would expect boats to not be a viable option here, which means they're swimming. Either that, you get in a car, you're hitting the bridge. Once you get across that bridge, Genesis, GEN.G, everyone's going to be set up looking towards teams that are finally making it across there. The blue eventually will begin to hurt. We're in phase number 4 here. So after that, really, what can you do? Aitzi goes down. That's probably a knock and a confirmation from the blue, unless the meds were not there for him.
Mexi still holding by the bridge. You're seeing the Rumblers hold. That's on the other side of the island for now. These are the remaining teams trying to find a way in. Na'Vi losing out players as the nades come out, and you can see enters 4 step by step, controlling this side of the bridge. Senya wants to avenge, as Kale is just around this corner. He's going to hear the vehicle. Will he go for it, though?
For now, just holding. Tempo Storm down and out. 12 position for them. Mexi confirms it. Senya onto Kale, having a look around. Senya, can you get it done? No, you cannot. 11th place will be there. Blue begins to do damage. Xiangyang, last man standing here for enters Force. But really, what can he do? He's at the mercy of the blue, at the mercy of the bridge. Uber is running for dear life. Maybe he goes and tries to find some frags. But honestly, really, what can you do at this stage apart from pick up individual points? Everyone else getting mopped up by the blue.
There's nothing to be done for Uber. The best he could do is run back up and run over, but this blue hurts so bad. This is going to be the death of both of these players as we now need to look across the island. GEN.G are a terrifying prospect in this scenario. They were already on the bridge. They were gate camping on the other side. They were holding it down. And now they have prime position. They control the entirety of the south side of the new circle. As that's a shot and a half coming through. We see Enters Force remaining player trying to make a run, as FaZe trying to stay alive down low with Uber, both in a heal off.
GEN.G had the option to camp the bridge and kill people that are going to be moving across from Sosnovka. Instead, they took the yellows on the cliffs. The Rumblers, number 9, will be on their tombstone. But GEN.G, controlling this entire cliffside, denies any entry points from the water. The water would probably kill you at this stage anyway, with the blue on your back. Some teams might even opt to just say, you know what, give it up. Doesn't it even allow it? Yiz, just from the cliffside, says, no, you do not get to deny yourself there, Ragnar.
Remember, Yiz is one of those highlight players, one of the strongest players we've seen come out through those semi-finals, so don't doubt what he can achieve, but it's a swim for him now, as it looks like Pio's watching that too. This is T1, coming in from the north after that initial scrap they had. Genesis with a great play across the island. They got a boat and they made it through swiftly. FaZe lose the heal off, as enters Force in the same scenario, trying to creep their way forward with their final player. K-Mind on a swivel, looking for any pixel out of place. Genesis look good here. Look at the room they've got. We've got 6 teams here. This circle actually allows a lot of play for the remaining teams. Enters Ace going to make a play towards GEN.G.
While it might be only one player from Enters Force, we still, in theory, have all 4 PKL teams up and standing. T1, Enters Ace, GEN.G, and then Enters Force with a solo player. This is an insanely good start for Korea.
It truly is. Let's see what they can make of it. Genesis hold the hillside and the fire comes out. Supreme shots land and they get the knock on 1. The flush is just not going to happen from this unless Profi's got, you know, some god tier arm that he's considering. It's not going to happen. T1 now have a bit of cover. You can look at Enters Ace. Look at the rest of T1. They're in a big 2-2 split here as well. You've got GEN.G still considering what they want to do in the southeast themselves, and that is not an ideal shack to be sat in.
Genesis and GEN.G can control the outer areas here. Entus Ace and T1, if they want to push that shack further, for me, you're just kind of locking yourselves into a no-win scenario. You can't eject yourself from that. You're in an open territory. You're in an open playing field. Why not play edge? Why not play this one slow? Use the trees, use the rocks. QM finally gone, denies it to anybody. That's the best scenario he could possibly ask for rather than giving it to another team. For T1 with these two players, unless you can hit the world with that 8 times through one of the little windows, you're going to be disconnected from the rest of the roster. Provided that Genesis doesn't get too tunnel visioned on just those 2 players there, because other teams will hear them shooting and other teams will take advantage of them standing still.
Absolutely precision play coming out. You're seeing the SLRs, you're seeing minis, you're seeing everything with a bit of range. Going to be the paramount thing to have beside you here. Genesis, I like their position for now, but if it does move away from that rolling hillside in the forest, it could prove a problem. Everyone else banking on those shacks. T1's position is incredibly dominant in my eyes, even with the 2-2 split. If they lose out on the other 2, it doesn't fuss me that much.
You've just seen Hitch wins POV. We'll hold for a second because we're getting the push from T1. The last 2 players making a little bit of a play onto Gen.G, but they are disconnected. That's the problem for them.
I think Gen.G are sweeping in it smart. I like what they're doing, moving around this northeast side. They still have players in the current circle, but this is just housekeeping to them. That's smart. They can disengage. This is a scary run once they drill in the sort of, I guess, adjustment on these shots. Taemin could be in a bit of trouble, but he has made it through to the yellows, back with the others. They now know that T1 has this position. I like it. If it's just an information play, that's great. And no, he's unrecoverable. Yes, Ada stays alive, but the info is now noted.
Speaking about Hitchman's POV, when you look towards his armor level 1, it's going to be even worse for the players of T1 inside the little shack, bunkering down and praying for dear life. Coming down the hillside, how much further can you go? Those smokes will only hide you for so long, fellas. Eventually they will have to run out.
They still have the circle.
That's a beautiful position. They could also, if they really wanted to come down. They've got all the woods to play off of in their location. And more importantly, they also have the gas station. The bombs, the grenades, they come flying through. Bodies are just being picked apart. The smokes and the shacks, they'll only do so much because eventually they have to move.
Absolutely, and they have to move towards one of these teams. You do have T1 in the middle, you have Genesis in the back, and Entus Force got their final player. He is over by the petrol station. Lockie again.
We hit him running.
Precision play from this man. We've seen it already. Is this just a taste of things to come? For now, though, we have to remind ourselves, a North American team really could do some big work here already. A good couple of kills for this side.
But those players in the shack, not only are they going to be lacking gear and armor, they're not healing up, Lauren. I think they're completely out of meds. They burn through them inside it. And this will cost them dearly. As soon as they come out of that shack, if you don't have the armor and you don't have the health, you're going to die. You're just pickings for any team. But who's going to be the picker? Is it going to be Gen.G? Is it going to be Genesis? Don't forget, we've still got that one player from Entus Force lingering down in the petrol station on his own.
Pio's just trying to ninja this one, isn't he? Just slowly moving his way up here, going to take the car and look for a new angle. He's found an off angle on maybe Entus Ace. Once that smoke dissipates, his angle could be one of the best. If Genesis don't realize, that's his smoke wall. He wants protection from that side. Entus Ace are now everyone's, Thanksgiving dinner at this point, and there it is. Taemin, Gen.G gonna find this one. Joy goes down. No more smiles, no more happiness as Entus Ace are eliminated. We're down to 4 teams here. 8 kills for Gen.G. Their positioning was paramount, but they have capitalized.
Genesis binds the time for a second. They still have this woods to play with. They can opt to go towards the gas station, but there is one player in there. They might not be keeping track of him, which could be deadly in the later stages of this one. Eyes on the prize here for North America. K-Mind and Profit. 6 times, 8 times with the minis. This is more than enough. With the 5.56 Esther on the bike, time to go. Gen.G against the circle, they got to find a position.
Where's Esther going to head this to? The petrol station is not available right down on the south coast, still slightly open. You're seeing those shots coming in. That's K-Mind spotting this one out, so now they have to piece together this puzzle that Gen.G is trying to build. Nice shot coming through, keeping that pressure building. And I'm sure the damage is going to be there now. Gen.G's gear can't be sitting too pretty, whereas I look at Genesis, it's not too bad.
Those players from T1 are actually holding GEN.G dead to rights and locked in against the circle.
I don't know how they're going to send it. It looks like a vehicle's being considered at this point. I see the car moving around. This could be a mad dash. This could be the big send. Who's going to punish? Can anyone make anything from it? They're going to move down again on the southeast side, trying to join up, but K9 says no. Goodbye to one of your players. PO still stands. He's made it further forward, and GEN.G are clutching at straws. Genesis so far are the kings of this game.
7 kills in the bag, and the win is looking good. All 4 players up, the only team left here in phase 7, with everybody surviving. The circle was good for them. It came their way, but they have capitalized on the position. However, eventually they will have to come down from the security of this hillside where they are. There is plenty of trees and cover to do that, but they've still got to get past these Korean teams. 3 up for GEN.G. Smokes, eventually, Lauren, they're going to dissipate and they're going to be completely out of utility. And honestly, they're going to be working with very little.
But they're trying to forge a path. They're trying to find a way forward. They're trying to put anything they can to create maybe a chance, because the circle isn't too pleasant for Genesis either. They have to shift further and further forward, down the slope, more and more into the vision of GEN.G. I don't see any smoke now left on Ether. That's going to be a bit of a hindrance going forward. It might be time to start fighting out once these final smokes go.
Profi just casually picking up
sending
a crit
it
in the back lines.
Who is this madman? He better have moves. He better be on a serpentine between these shots. And K9, he can't land a shot. Somehow he's made it to the next touch of cover. And inch by inch, GEN.G get closer.
I'm seeing damage coming out from T1. We did say about getting tunnel visioned here, and it might have punished them. They've taken the eyes off of T1 in that little shack. Nerf's gone down, smokes are up. Now they have to take one out of the scenario to get him back on his feet. The res will come through. That only gives eyes up for Genesis of 2 individual players. This allows GEN.G to actually move. This is dangerous.
Oh my god, Ether is making the play. Moving up again under the fire. You know the suppressing fire was coming in. Seeing that knock, you know you got space. Genesis have been static. They haven't moved as much. They haven't tried to capitalize. They haven't been able to punish GEN.G. And Inter's Force still stand. T1 still stand. This is not a good position. And Nerf goes down. That's going to be a flush.
They haven't kept them in check, and now they are being punished hard. T1, Profi, K9, Nerf. They are dying at the hands of the 2 guys in the shack. This is just... How have you let this happen? You've taken your eyes off the ball, and now they are punishing you hard. T1's hammer is coming down.
They were on cloud 9, and now they are feeling the full force of Korea. PO is running in the open. Look how confident.
Through the door,
Oh
do it.
My
do it.
God, if that is on.
It's
oh
in.
My God, PO! We asked where he was. We wanted an answer, and we find it. T1 are out. They're eliminated. We're into the top 3. And NA still has their champions, but for how long? Enters Force. How are they? Oh my God, this is a punish. That's an execution. Locky had no idea. As Force were waiting, and Force strike. That's a one-shot.
Smokes are up, he'll be able to make a run here. Seong-Yan, literally the last man standing for Force, has caused problems for GEN.G. 10 kills in the bag is fantastic. Genesis have been able to get one more person back on the feet. 2-man squad, they will continue. Seong-Yan, just this solo ranger, is causing problems across the battlefield.
Oh my God! He barely made it over the bridge. He barely made it away from FaZe, and now he stands on the precipice of being the downfall of GEN.G and Genesis. K9, last man alive for Genesis. He's trying to do what he can and he falls. We're down to the top 2, a 1v2. It ain't gonna happen. GEN.G!
Not the defenders, but the reclaimers. From outside.